Welcome to SoulTopia Shenanigans with Michelle Welch, and thank you for joining me. Tonight, we're just going to go over some of the things that have been going on here at SoulTopia. We've really been having some exciting events, and we have been seeing more and more of you come into SoulTopia and find us, some of you that we've just never seen before, that a lot of you have said you've never even been in a store like ours before, and it's really exciting. So I wanted to go over some of the things that we carry in our store and how that kind of came about. Our store started really with me starting to make, and my husband Roger starting to make bracelets, and we would channel our bracelets, and I did it because I was practicing law still, which I still do, but not to the stressful extent that I did then. And it was, like I said, very stressful. So when you're working with beads and with crystals, these are semi-precious stones, but they still are crystals. And when you're working with them, you're holding them in your hands, and they really will calm you down or even kind of give you vitality if you need it. And so I began to learn a lot of the properties of the stones, and I fell in love with crystals. And so we began selling these at things like Chi Omega Christmas in Dallas, a big event that happens every season, I think like in November. And then we began really selling them more at just regular boutiques, not holistic boutiques. And then we decided we wanted to take them into holistic trade shows and things like that. And finally, we opened SoulTopia based on really our soulstone bracelets. So at many of our events, we will have the bracelets to go along with some of our events. Our last event for SoulTopia Sensation was this past Sunday. That's always the third Sunday of every month here at SoulTopia. And one of the big things I always like to say is it is not a fair. There are many wonderful fairs around town, and they do a great job at all of those fairs, but they are just everywhere. And so I wanted something really, really different here at SoulTopia. So every month, on the third Sunday of the month, we have a different theme, and people dress up in that theme, and our readers even sort of curtail their readings to the theme that month. So you still might get a tarot reading, but let's say if the theme was about astrology, then you might get more. Even if it was a tarot reading or a crystal reading, whatever that reading, it might have more to do with the astrology for that month. So we kind of try to tailor make them to the theme of that month. And we also have lectures that are free all throughout the day. And these are people who come and do the lectures. We had an author this past Sunday, Gail Blair, the intuitive chef who has a cookbook out, and she came and gave a lecture on Palladians, and I wasn't able to sit in the lecture because I actually read last month. That's not going to happen again. I can't stand it. I want to be out there where all the action is. But we have readers, and I actually call them messengers at this event because I just, again, want to get away from that whole kind of fair thing. And again, nothing against those who do it, but this is different. And it's new, it's fresh, as we say, and it's SoulTopia Sensation. So one of the things we did this last time, or our theme, was out of this world. So it was kind of about aliens or beings from different dimensions. So I made some bracelets. Well, actually, my daughter Tanner made all the bracelets, but we went and got the beads, and I channeled what bracelets were going to be made, and we made 4 different ones. And I kind of wanted to show them to you, just to show you how we kind of tie everything together here at SoulTopia. That's really what we do, and it really kind of always does start with our bracelets. It always starts and ends there. And so even though a lot of people do make bracelets, ours, we take a lot of time really channeling and putting our efforts into what those stones mean, what the colors are, what the properties of the stones are, and we put a lot of effort into that. And they always have their own little, the SS is for Soul Stones, which was our original jewelry line. So this one is the Soul Pleiadian bracelet. And if you look at a picture, if you were to do Google Images and look up a picture of Pleiades, you would see that it's very much these colors. it is this blue, maybe a little tiny bit darker, and then there are the 7 main stars within that system. There are a lot more, but there's 7 that are known about, and those were called the 7 sisters, and those became in Greek mythology the 7. I don't know if they were the muses exactly. My daughter knows all about the Greek mythology, but the 7 sisters are those main stars that you see. There's also the Pleiadian Council that many people hear about. So what I wrote on here about this bracelet that I channeled, and by the way, this is fire agate, crystal quartz, and a matted mystic quartz in the middle. We are sort of starting to combine the matted stones and the shiny stones together. It looks kind of cool. The council and the 7 sisters connect us to the divine feminine. They carry information across space and time and carry the torch of light for the evolution of humanity. So that's Pleiades. And so it's the Soul Pleiadian bracelet. And these were what we do at every SoulTopia Sensation is we'll have a bracelet that's on sale for that day, and we'll have a spray mist that Roger makes that's infused with crystals and oil essences for sale that day, and also a crystal mojo bag that's for sale that day. So we also had, my favorite is Lemeria. So we have the Soul Lemerian bracelet, and this again is a fire agate, and it's got the blue and the green in it, and a green mystic quartz, and 2, and by the way, on the Pleiadians, we had 7, for the 7 sisters, we had 7 quartz, and we call these snow quartz to represent the 7 sisters. But on Lemeria, Lemeria was very much a utopian society. Whatever your job was in Lemeria, it didn't matter if you were on the council or you were taking care of the garden and the food or you were taking care of the crystals. You were all on the same level. There was no hierarchy. It was truly a utopian society. And they kept that society. And there was just no sense of the ego entering in or needing to be better than anyone else. Everyone just knew their job. They knew what they loved, and that's what they did. And so now when people come in and they think about, what's my life purpose? Am I happy in what I'm doing? You think about getting back to that Lemerian state, and we might want to think about, what is it that really makes my soul sing and makes me happy versus where am I going to make the most money? What is it that, because most of those people, and I can speak to this about lawyers, most of the lawyers I know, and y'all can correct me if you're watching and you're a lawyer, most of them aren't real happy in their job, but they make quite a bit of money, but they're really not real happy. So Lemerians would choose their jobs and they were just thrilled in their jobs. So it had nothing to do about hierarchy. They were very peaceful. They communicated through their third eye. So they really didn't have where they were speaking a lot. They were really telekinetically communicating to one another. And I believe we're going to get back to that. I believe that's something we're getting back to. We think we're so highly evolved now with our forms of communication and our technology, but we're not anything compared to the Lemerians or the Atlanteans that I'm about to talk about. But they lived on land and sea, and they used crystals, dolphins, and whales as the record keepers of their information. So as their society started to be in danger from different things that actually is a whole nother class we could go into, they stored information in the Lemerian crystals and in dolphins and in whales as record keepers. And now those people who are working with whales and working with dolphins, or who can get information from Lemerian crystals, they're being entrusted with that information, because for quite some time they were not entrusting humans with any of that information. I believe we're being entrusted more and more now, but there's still some hesitancy to give us all of those esoteric secrets, so to speak. Okay, so they really utilize crystals, and just Lemerians are some of my favorite. I think of them as like the hippies of the kind of the hippie carefree of the star seeds. And really, we all are star seeds. So here's the thing. When somebody goes, I'm a star seed, or I'm a Palladian, or I'm a this or that, and you'll hear people almost sound a little prideful about it sometimes, which I think is kind of funny, because if they really were, they wouldn't be sounding prideful about it. But we are some sort of star seed, I believe. We all come from some incarnation, from some star seed, from some other place. It's been said that if you go outside and you look up into the stars on a clear night, you'll typically always look up in the same direction, and that's the area that you're from. So you should maybe try that sometime and see if it works for you. That's the area, because your eye will just always go to the same area. All right, so another one is Atlantis, and a lot of you have heard of Atlantis, I'm sure. So we call it the Soul Atlantean bracelet, and it's very blue for the water. But the thing is they were also very much known for their crystals. They were very prepared. They were prepared for almost everything. They were highly, highly evolved, and they utilized crystals for their technology. And they were way more advanced in using that than we are at this time. They assisted in major consciousness shifts, and they were so far advanced that even their languages were mathematical in origin. So my sense is that the Lemerians were here, and then they had some troubles, and then they integrated somewhat into the Atlanteans, and then the Atlanteans did, some of them misused, I believe. Some of them did misuse the technology and the crystals that they received. That's my personal belief. Not everyone agrees with that, but that's what I've been given as information. Not all the Atlanteans did, but that was the beginning of their demise. All right, so then there's and I always have trouble saying this one. If you look this one up, Google the star system for the galaxy for this one. It's actually beautiful. It's Soul Andromedan. There we go, Andromedan. And this one, Wendy, that works at our store, is very connected. And if you look at this, and when you Google the image of this, it will look just almost exactly like this bracelet. And they're quiet warriors. They often work in earth-supportive roles. They work closely with the archangels for our spiritual progression. And they open new galactic energy pathways. Their quiet demeanor and inner strength can greatly affect others. And this is a purple and pink agate with that mystic quartz. It's a pink mystic matted quartz and the star quartz. So those were the crystal or the bracelets that we made for SoulTopia Sensation this month. Another bracelet that I would just want to show you guys, because everybody's been asking for it, is our Soul Ganesh bracelet. We finally made Ganesh, and it's from the Hindu belief system. Ganesh is really the biggest thing. Is I always think Ganesh means yes. Ganesh is the remover of obstacles and the opener of doorways. He's also about new beginnings. And we have on this one green aventurine, peach aventurine, which is really beautiful, and then black tourmaline for protection, and then quartz. So this is actually, I dug around and found one out there, because we have to make this, since this one has come out, we've had to make it like over and over and over again because it's selling so quickly. So those are some of our bracelets that we use to tie into either our classes or just the energy of whatever's going on, because to me, the easiest way to carry around your crystals is to wear them. Either to wear them on a necklace, but actually to wear them in bracelets. And so tonight I have on a lot of our fairy bracelets, just because that's what I could throw on without taking off the tags, because it's easy. All right. So I wanted to talk about another event that's coming up, and it's my Stellar Gateway Healing Certification class. It's a certification of completion. If you come and take the class on, it's going to be next Saturday, this coming Saturday, July the 22nd, from 1 to 5, and it's only $50, that's how much it costs to actually come get a 30-minute healing, is $50. Why I'm doing that at that price is I really believe the right people are going to come who understand that it's kind of a new day and a new day for healing. The Stellar Gateway Healing, I used to call it Raziel Healing. The Stellar Gateway Healing is about clearing out our transpersonal chakras, actually our stellar gateway, which I envision is right above our crown chakra. Not everyone does, but that's where I see it. And so that we can get up into our transpersonal chakras to where we connect with our ascended masters and our guides, and ultimately they lead us to our higher self and source, which is the point of having guides. It's not so that we get dependent on guides. It's so that we will eventually get up to our higher self and source to which we are connected. So Raziel works very much with me in that healing, and this is our Raziel bracelet. Raziel is a really interesting archangel. I compare Raziel to Merlin. So he's like and this is our Merlin bracelet. So he's like the Merlin of archangels. He's very much about magic. He's very much about working magic in your life. He's about sacred geometry. He's about esoteric secrets. He is very much tied into the Akashic records. And a lot of people will get that very confused with Metatron. Yes, Metatron has a cube, and we do work with Metatron in our Stellar Gateway healings because everyone receives their own crystal key that's the beginning of their sacred geometry, kind of their own Metatron's cube. Because you see, Metatron walked as man before he became an archangel, just like Sandalphon walked as man. So Metatron walked as man, and he had this cube. So everyone's like, oh, I want Metatron's cube. Well, we all have our own Metatron's cube. We all have in our DNA, in our blueprint, we all had an incarnation blueprint that we decided what we were going to do. And as we break down that code and we ask for those symbols, we can really connect with what's going on with us. So if somebody, for instance, receives a vertical line, which is the first one I received, that's a very simple, it's not complicated sacred geometry. It's the seeds of sacred geometry. So it's a vertical line. It extends from heaven to earth. It represents the number 1. It connects the earthly plane and the spiritual plane. If you had the horizontal one, it sees things that are on the perspective. It travels easily through space and time. So we go over all of those different, very, very simple sacred geometry seeds, or the beginnings of those, that then go into the more complicated sacred geometry. But everyone receives a crystal key and one of those, and none of them are more important than the other. If you get the circle or the arc, that's not better than getting the horizontal line. It's just what you get and what you began with. All right. So we work very much with Raziel, some with Metatron, and of course with Merlin in those healings. And so some people might ask, well, what's really the purpose of the healings? And I'll say again, the purpose of the healings is, a lot of people will ask, well, can we get out of karmic contracts? And I've heard a lot of debate about it, and I really don't care about other people's debating about stuff. Here's what I get, and you can take it or leave it. I get yes, okay? If you agreed to them there, why can't you get out of them here? Of course you can. One way to help you do that is to clear out that stellar gateway, and we use a lot of pendulum work. We use a lot of black kyanite and selenite, and in this class you will learn how to do all of that work, and you'll get a little freer with what you do with your belief system and with your healings. It's not just the standing there like maybe in Reiki. It's a lot of movement and using your crystals and moving energy around. We really need to get to where we're moving and believing we can move energy. I mean, why couldn't we? Everything's energy, so why can't we move it? We see it in the movies all the time. You know, they're opening a portal by going like this. Well, why can't we? We can. Why are the movies talking about that? Because they know that a lot of times that's the collective consciousness. That's the universal consciousness, that they're knowing things are coming. And we think, oh, that's just made up. It's not. We're just limiting ourselves with beliefs here that we've been taught, because we've been taught that we can't open things up. Well, why can't we? We're very magical because we're connected to source, but we tend to forget that. So that's what the class is about. And can anyone, once they take the class, just immediately do the healings? No. I would say that they would I'm going to ask for an honor system, or that they even record them, that they do 5 healings before they then go and do the healings themselves. But I want as many people doing the healings as possible, because I think there need to be more people out there doing them. And I don't think when something is so good, that I don't think we need to be charging thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for it. I challenge those who do. Why? Yeah, I've put a lot of time into it, and I've really, really questioned, am I the one to bring it for 4 or 5 years? But why is something thousands and thousands of dollars to, if really it's something that we really think would help others heal or help them clear out things that no longer serve them? Why wouldn't we want to train as many people to do that as possible at a very affordable price? So I would challenge anybody who's charging thousands and thousands of dollars for those types of things. I don't agree with it. Sorry, I don't. Okay, so that is this coming Saturday, and here at SoulTopia. Before that, we have something that I'm really excited about. Mickey Klein is doing an astrology class. So it could be for you a full day. She's starting at 9:30, and then there's just going to be like a 30-minute break. So bring some food, because I'm not supplying it. Sorry, you guys, because my class is $50. But so there'll be a 30-minute break, and then we'll go right into Stellar Gateway. And then she'll have again on Sunday the rest of her astrology class. So I'm really looking forward to that. And while I'm on the subject, our next SoulTopia sensation is on August 20th. It's always on the third Sunday. And that's going to be, we decided, celebrate your sun, what is it called? Sun celebration, sun sign celebration. That's what it is. It's your sun sign celebration. So whatever your sign is, your sun sign, you can dress as that sign or something having to do with that sign. And we're going to have astrology speakers here on that whole topic. We are having a sketch artist, a different sketch artist this month, and she will be sketching your house, the 12 houses, and then she will be reading for you and sketching within each of your 12 houses what's going on with you on your astrology chart. So you will have that sketched, canvas sketched, it's not canvas, but on sketch paper to take away with you from your reading. So that will be really, really neat. I'm definitely going to sign up for that. And we'll have a lot of great speakers this time too. All right. So that's it for what I had tonight. One of the things that I was really excited about, we have a lot of products coming in. It's interesting because we ordered a whole lot of things when we went to Denver. I don't know, it was like a month ago. And for some reason, I think a lot of them were hot off the press. One of them was this that everybody's been asking for. It's called Oracle of the Unicorns. So I grabbed one and I opened it. And I figured we would do a couple of quick readings. And we have Arlene here tonight, and she stayed after tarot class, and she agreed to let me do a reading for her. So we're going to try that now. And no, I've never looked at these cards. I mean, I kind of flipped through them. The publisher of this is Blue Angel Publishing, and I love them. They're out of Australia. And to me, some of the best decks come from Blue Angel Publishing. I absolutely love them. So look how gorgeous these are. There is a book. It's a beautiful book. I'm not going to look at it right now. I can look at that later. And the cards on the front are absolutely gorgeous. And I like these because they don't have borders. I kind of like cards that are borderless. That's just something that I'm picky about. I don't like tarot cards that have borders either. Do you know what I mean by that? They just don't have a framed border around them. I'd rather not have a border. It's just a personal preference. Oracle cards are usually bigger. So these are pretty big cards. I'm finding them pretty easy to shuffle, which I like. I worked with these earlier, and I did go through the cards to some extent and got my energy on the cards, and I do feel like I have cleared these cards. So we're going to ask for a message for Arlene for her highest and best good. All right? All right. So Arlene, do you have a question? Okay. Are we talking about you teaching or you going to school or both?
Both.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to draw for you, if that's okay. And I am going to draw, my first card is going to be for your teaching. And that one goes with it. And my second card is going to be for you going to school. Okay? Well, one of the cards is actually inviting you to have some fun and take time to play. And I know you've told me before what grade you teach, but second grade. So it is bringing out the childlike wonder. So I'm not sure how many years you've taught, but here's what the message I get. That grade is to make sure you remember the wonder of those second graders, okay? Because it's for you to have fun with it too. Because how many years has it been?
9.
Okay, so sometimes after 9 we can be like, okay, but so make sure you bring that into the classroom, the fun of it. And I do think that you need to change it up a little bit. As much as they'll let you change up your curriculum and dare to do things a little bit differently than you normally do them, go for it. So if you're bored with something, to the extent you can, switch it up. To the extent that you're allowed to do that. Yeah, a lot of movement with that, I believe, if you're allowed to kind of shake things up a little bit. I know sometimes they don't let you, but be a rebel and try. Okay, so for your own school. Oh, this is a beautiful card. I'll show you guys. There's a lot of butterflies around it, and the moon's in it too. He looks a little bit sad. I feel like it's going to be a time of you reevaluating some things. I know you already have been. It's like you're really starting to look at the cycles in your life. And the word is cycles, okay, but it's got a lot of stuff written underneath it. That you're really starting to look at those cycles and you're starting to go, okay, where is my time best spent? You and I are both schoolies. We love school. We love to continue learning all the time. But I think you're going to say, is this right for me? What is right for me to be spending time with? And you're going to be better at, honestly, having fun. So if the school is fun, then go for it. And, obviously you're going to be in school. So I'm going to tell you, the answer to your question is, I think you're going to have some good days with it and some not enjoying it as much as you thought, unless you really put your boundaries up about what it is you want to accomplish from it. To really be clear with what you're wanting out of it. Does that make sense? Yes. Because I do sense a little bit of, that they're not giving you exactly what you want. Hopefully the professor doesn't see this, but hope that they're just not really, it's not fulfilling that kind of yearning to learn that you're wanting. Okay, it may be a little disappointment in that area. Okay, all right. So I'm getting the wrap it up signal, and so I will say I think these are great cards. I know we've already sold a couple decks. The people are running in to get them tomorrow, but they are beautiful. So we have more of those, and we have a lot of other things that came in tonight. And I just want you to invite you to come to everything we have at SoulTopia. I'm going to say one more thing. When I talk about the things that are going on at SoulTopia, including, and I'm going to say, our meditations that are going to start on Monday nights that are free, they're love donation. I don't mean to sound like an advertisement going on and on. It's just that I really believe in what I'm doing here, or I wouldn't be doing it. I really believe in us supporting each other, us having fun. Same with you having fun with your classroom, because when we're learning, when we're growing, when we're ascending, we can have fun. We don't have to be stodgy and boring all the time. We don't have to be. And we have a lot of fun at SoulTopia. And so I really do believe in it. And that's why I really do want to get the message out to a lot more people about coming to our events here. Bring people, if you're already coming, bring people you know. And also share this. This is on YouTube. You're going to be watching this. If you're on Facebook watching this, I'm going to ask you a favor. I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is easy. It doesn't cost you anything. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, believe me. If I can do something on the computer, you for sure can do it. I'm going to ask you to do that, and I'm going to ask you to also watch it on YouTube, because those views actually do help, and we do want more people seeing these. Typically, I have a guest, and we will try next time to have a guest. We're filming really late tonight, and after tarot class, and so that's why I'm still getting to wrap it up. But I really want you to know that that's why I am talking about our products and the things we have. It's because we very, very, very much believe in what we're doing. And I'm going to say it again, because it's not something that I had to do in life. It's something that I was led to do, and that I chose to do, and that I continue to do because I believe in it. And I believe in the products we have here, and I believe in the people that come and teach classes here. So we really invite you to come and hang out with us. And just check us out on www.soultopia.guru. And until next time, Crystal Cheers.